Welcome, everybody, to tonight's showing of Rainbow Six Siege. We are still currently in our quarterfinals phase. Tonight, we're going to have Rogers State University, showcased on your right, going up against Cumberland Phoenix over there on your left. And with me is our new caster. We have Overcast joining us today. How are you, man?
Hello. I am very good. I'm happy to be here for my second casting for Rainbow. I casted a while back, probably during one of the first preliminary phases, but I am very happy to be back.
Well, we're good to have you. We're good to see these two teams. Currently, both sitting on a 4-2 score line in our regulation season. And right now, we're going to kick things off on Night Haven Labs. And our attackers have been removed off the board. No Deimos, no Blackbeard.
It's very interesting for me that these teams are already banning Deimos and Blackbeard off the rip. I understand that they're two very powerful operators, but I thought they were going to usually go for more tactical bans with the attackers. But to be honest, I completely understand just getting rid of two meta characters. Just get them out of here.
Oh yeah, getting rid of the headaches is definitely important. You know, you're also seeing that mirror removed, as there's quite a bit of things you could do with mirror, especially on the top floor and that basement level.
And
finally,
then we're getting rid of Fenrir as well. Honestly, I think Fenrir is a good ban, especially for this map with Mira. Mira has a lot of good spots to put her one-way mirrors, and then pair that up with Fenrir. You can actually make some very deadly combos with that.
Oh yeah, all those chokes. It's definitely deadly. But starting off on the first floor is RSU, kicking off our defense, bringing out the Azami Bandit Valk, Warden, and the Jaeger. And a quick little flash of our attacking operators on the side of Cumberland. I did see Capital and a Flores. We love Flores over here on the stream. Double Heart Breach, I also like as well, and a Ayana, which we don't see too much of.
Activating camera.
As always, these picks are subject to change with our attacker repick. But, you know, I feel like Cumberland might lock in with this. Ayana for the roam clear is definitely interesting. There's a lot stronger picks, but I'm curious to see how it's utilized, especially with the Gemini clone.
Already, just looking at the site setup that RSU is trying to create, it's mostly looking like a default site setup with Bandit already trying to get the exterior walls, but also just you get your Warden and you get your shotgun holes just getting placed all around. I do like this this deployable shield set up with all the ADSs, so it looks like Warden is going to be playing out in connector, but I think he's also going to be playing a very crucial role from the two windows that were going to lead to the outside. And then so far it's looking like we might have Jaeger, who's going to be playing our defense, and he's also bringing down an M870, not something very common. And then already we have gotten our first breach by Thermite onto the main wall. So now the attackers just need to drone this out just a little bit more, and then we're gonna start seeing our first pushes coming in. Already we can see 3 attackers already lining up right outside. Bandit still ready for the bandit trick, but now Iana and Capital, they're trying to flood this Warden out, already taking half damage, and he's screwed in by the fire, and he's going to die to the fire. That was very good pressure by that Capital.
There.
Swapping mags.
It's good so far. Two, very nice kill from Fry coming out. Spoonman getting the trade right now. Actually picking a second kill. I think he'll have the A side all to himself, but no, he's flanked over by Jake. Diffuser gonna start to go down anyway.
Alright, now we're down to a 2v1 scenario. Diffuser is going to be planted in default spot. Valk is going to have to go against this Thermite and this very low Capital. Will Valk be able to get a pick onto anybody, but so far it's looking like it's not. Thermite holding a decent angle. He is going to try and push out this Capitao, knowing that he is low. He needs to get this kill, but Capitao is going to win the round and secure the first round for Cumberland Farms. I'm sorry, I just had to. I just had to.
I get it. I probably was gonna say it eventually.
Hey man,
But
I
good
got
initial.
cumbies today, so I needed it.
It was a good initial attack. I liked it. They went through connector. They got the map control that they needed, which wasn't too much, honestly. But they, more importantly, just got the picks and forced their way in. Especially the pick on the Corb last round, thanks to the Capital fire from Tangly. And it ended up just snowballing from there as they could clear the rest of the site with that.
Absolutely, and also just with that Thermite getting the breach in, he also did a very important job of just allowing at least another entry point for the attackers to get in. And now just looking at how RSU is going to be setting up, they're going to be setting up the same site relatively similarly, but this time they're adding a rotation hole that can lead out into the warehouse. But we're going to see how this affects them. They have reinforced a few things a little differently. It looks like Bandit might just go for his Bandit tricks again, and it might be switching around who is going to be playing in connector. But
we were going to see Fry play around the Kiba Bears on Rafters here to try and give an extra layer of defense. I do like that, especially a lot of the forefront of the attack came from the connector, however. There were a couple stragglers, especially now with Jake might actually enter some confrontation here as someone's trying to deny the bandit tricking from Talon. I believe they're aware of the extra operator they found downstairs. The incursion's still going through. The Thermite bandit tricking, excuse me, is not going to be successful as they get open IT wall. It's a gunfire flying in from our sides here. Jake getting an absolutely wonderful shot onto the Ash. Isn't collected though, but denying all that HP is definitely important.
Yeah, now we're going to see Thermite is going to have to go down to, but I guess Grim is going to be taking the initiative, going to get Ash, getting him back up. But now we do have the main breach. It is now back open. Grim's going to have to push up. He might be able to take some sight here, but we do have a Legion who's going to be watching the outside with an Azami who's still holding out into the warehouse. We still have a very defensive posture looking like, compared from a sight extension from last round. But right now it looks like the attackers are slowly trying to push their way in. With about a minute 25 seconds left, they do need to start making their move now, and it looks like Ash is going to be the first person to try and start making some sort of a push alongside Ace. Ace is going to try and take this gunfight with Wamai. So far nothing is going to be successful yet, but this Warden with a shotgun, it's extremely deadly, especially right now within electrical.
Yeah, the hold from Corb is definitely going to come down to the wires as we enter 60-second territory. It's starting to get a little bit anxious now as operators are swinging in and out. Someone's going to make the decision, and it's going to be Corb. Norway taking it out, though. Tangly joining the firefight. Jake getting a refrag out to Tangly to try to even it out. Prone Star will vault right through the hole made into the connector. And Prone Star's going right through. Jake getting another one before getting traded off by Prone. Talon downstairs doesn't get the C4 deny. With 30 seconds left, he's got to find a way back upstairs. Which route will he take? He's going to go up through the CC stairs. Will he incur anybody? He's got to be wary of the hole that they made from his previous allies. He's aware. He gets the pick onto Spoonman, so it's a little even now. Still not enough time and not enough health to do it. But crazier things have happened. Swinging in.
Right now,
isn't seeing anything towards the connector hole. He's still, the timing is dwindling down. He's got to be wary of the connector area, especially coming from the swing. And there we go. Prone taking out Talon to clean up another round. And that'll give Cumberland a 2-0 advantage.
Now, going into round 3, RSU, they might need to pick a new site, and they will. They're going to start going downstairs to the basement for tank assembly. Down here, it's a little bit harder to defend, in my opinion, because something very common, at least in ranked, is that a lot of people love to do full team pushes onto the 3 exterior walls that lead out right to one of the spawn points. So we're going to see how this one is going to turn out. But just looking already at the operator lineup for Cumberland, it looks like they're not really focusing too much for that wall. So I'm quite interested to see where these guys are mainly going to be pushing from. But we'll see up after we get their site set up.
Yeah, going off of what you were saying about not really paying too much utility or attention to the wall, they've just have the teamwork to be able to go below, especially on the upstairs sites, just to be able to go below and deal with the bandits in a destructive way instead of, you know, relying on an impact EMP or a potential Thatcher. Being able to bring a stronger operator lineup, you know, more firepower onto for the later assaults as it comes to the as I say that, Fry gets absolutely destroyed by Prone on the heady right here on the helipad. My goodness, what an angle for Prone. We might even get another one if Jake decides to swing this as well, and I don't think it's the wisest thing to do. That Scorpion does have a lot of recoil, however, it is quite the weapon to use in the close engagements. So we'll see what goes down.
Yeah.
Wait.
But 100%, just now looking into how the defense is as far as the exterior walls, we do have a Maverick who is sitting right outside. So I guess he is just trying to drone out, trying to figure out what's the best way to approach this. Because Bandit now fully having his walls set, Maverick does need to find out, 1, where the bandits are, and 2, where is this bandit. But also now, since we do have a 2-round playing underneath with them as well, this can also be very impactful because now this Maverick is going to have to worry about multiple people. But looking just back at Dokkaebi is still playing from the outside, just playing the windows, trying to get a few picks off, but not being successful in finding anybody. As far as Buck is playing a little high right now, trying to get this Capkin out of the way. But Sense is also actively trying to work on him, and the second Dokkaebi ball is coming out.
Big C4 throw there from Talon to remove the Maverick from Cumberland. That's definitely going to be quite the hindrance, especially since no striker with the extra can openers, as I like to call those hard breach charges. So it's going to need to be a more frontal assault, that I don't believe Cumberland is well equipped for, especially with the Legion mines from Fry and the Gershmots from Jake. And of course, you can't forget the captains coming out from Ox. As I say that, Ox is actually going to lose their life to Rifa. And as I say that, the Cumberland attack is going to have to pick up a little bit more of a rapid pace as we enter 42nd territory. The rest of RSU are kind of holding their lines, but Jake over there hunting for the rest of the attacking Cumberland operators. It's all coming down to Prone Star with 30 seconds left. No diffuser in hand either. So he's going to have to work double time, especially with the feed holes that are being utilized by Corb, and Corb is able to put it away to give the first round to RSU.
RSU overall having a wonderful defensive round there, with still 3 people remaining. Now RSU is going to have to move possibly to a new site, and I'm believing that they're going to go back to command center and services. Just what I thought. So they're going to be trying their 3rd time up here. So with Cumberland knowing that this is going to be coming, they're going to be bringing relatively the same operators from the last few rounds to try and get in. But seeing Rifa coming back with this Dokkaebi, that Dokkaebi is extremely influential because 1, just of the sound cues that you get, and 2, just like the sheer annoyance that you're essentially holding an operator still in an animation trying to turn them off. It's a great way to at least cover some ground with having that coming in. But now just also looking at how we're going to be setting up with our new site, it's possibly going to be looking to be relatively the same, except now it's going to be a lot more trap focused. We're bringing in a Capcan, a Frost, and a Legion as well. And then Capcan, knowing that the drone saw where his EDDs are, he's got to move them around a little bit more. But relatively very similar site setup, just a few minor changes. But otherwise, I'm interested to see how this one is going to go. Bandit's still trying to go for his bandit trick, and Capcan is still struggling with Frost, trying to get their final traps out. So this is going to be a much more difficult time for Cumberland to make a successful push, especially with all these traps.
Speaking of difficulty, we already have the first engagement underway as Norwix finds Jake. We're moving it off the board rather quickly. Barely gets to get a couple of Legion mines out of the pocket. As you were saying earlier, definitely more trap-oriented this time around from RSU. You know, if you can't win the swings, you know, stall them out as long as you can. Make them work that much harder. You're seeing the Flores from Spoonman again to try and aid in denying the bandit trick, or just deny utility in general. And Prone has actually opted in to move towards Connector, as Nurx is still outside of the IT breach. You're also seeing Tangley going over onto Electrical, trying to deny any aggression from that side. You're going to see Spoo, excuse me, start to flush out the Capcan of Corb. Able to successfully get away, but it's actually Talon who tries to swing out onto Rifa, and it's swiftly punished. Good position. That F2 is definitely hard to control, but Fry removes Prone Star from the equation, and Tangley Tree is also joining the kill feed, along with us, who trades Tangley right away. Only half the game clock has expired yet, and a lot of operators have been removed from the board. Cumberland still has man advantage. They just need to hunker down more of the map in order to get their execute, especially with the low health coming out from Rifa. A little bit of a spray coming from Fry. Try and deny Rifa's entry from Electrical. And you might see the execution come out, but Merx actually hits the Frost Mat, and it's a very important kill from Fry to deny any defuse. Rifa still going big, getting his second or third kill in the round, but Spoo will find Fry and give it to the way of Cumberland once again, just narrowly catching them off guard.
Already just looking at the board overall, so Cumberland have won 3-1 so far, so they've already taken half of this match as far as just attack, and it's all just been based off the same site now with RSU going to control room and storage. They know that they can't go back downstairs, and they know that just going upstairs for a fourth time is just a little too much. So now they do need to move down somewhere else. They need to try something else and just find something. But right now, since we are to control room, this one is going to be interesting because usually I would think people actually would take like the kitchen side a little bit more, but hey, if they can make the warehouse, control room, and storage work, power be to you. But just looking at the defensive lineup, we are seeing a lot of wall denial with a K Bandit and a Mute also being used to get one of the walls. But we also have a Vigil roaming around as far as a Legion, just to have some sort of intel and a little bit of a trap. But we are going to be noticing there is going to be a Cade and a Vigil, both can be playing upstairs, trying to deny any vertical play. But as well, Bandit is going to try and be playing flex here by just getting into the warehouse. Overall, they're leaving the sites relatively unanchored, and your only true anchor right now is this Mute. So that's a lot of confidence for one very specific person.
Yeah, this vertical play is going to need to be really important on the side of RSU, which I am expecting is going to be rather heavy, especially with the floor holes that have been made here. You are going to see Cumberland start to reach the second floor, and just like that, two operators falling rather quickly. Rifa and Corb getting respective picks. So that's two operators off the board. Not an operator you thought you would see, but now Corb gets into an engagement with Tangley, who does walk away with his life. He's going to keep on doing his breach. throughout the garage area, spinning back up on the drones. And now this verticality is going to be even more so perfect. Now that more of the breaches over there on the first floor have been opened up, Jake is definitely going to be a power player coming here, especially with the Raptors control, also with Fry in the mix. It's going to be important. And as I say that, Fry goes absolutely big onto Tangle. Beautiful headshot for him. Spoo gets into an altercation himself, but Prone actually able to take out Fry over with that main breach, and IT opened up. Still trying to flush out any operators, and he's going to spot Corb. Not able to finish it off. He is able to finish off Corb, excuse me. Someone else is off to finish elsewhere. Us will take out, I believe it was Spoo. So now 2v2. A little over 60 seconds left on the game clock. You have a lot of control established. Very nice one tap. But despite that, the diffuser is going to have to go down. With all this verticality, might work against him, though. But he's already made his way outside. Norway is able to hold the diffuser. Jake really needs to play for re-swing here. They need to swing together. And that's exactly what they're going to do. And Jake is going to win the gunfight, giving plenty of time for RSU to get this diffuse down. And RSU will take a second round, going into our final round of the half.
Overall, what a beautiful double swing coming in from Cade and Vigil, just going outside together, trying to finish off Thatcher. But that was overall like a very solid defense. They were more vertical focused, but to be honest, it worked out in their favor because they were able to hold the top of rafters by warehouse. But at the same time, it's just they denied any much needed ramming from the floors, and they used the ram to their advantage. So it was much later in the round once the ram was actually taking full control of that area, but also just with the pick off of mute, him playing with a shotgun, he was a very key defender, just literally just acting like a wall from the outside. And now we are going to be moving back down into basement, or at least tank assembly, I believe. So I'm quite interested in seeing how this one is going to work. But right now, just looking like they're setting up very similarly to last time. And to be honest, if what worked last time, no need to really change too much. Just focus it out. But now this time, instead of a bandit, they are bringing out a Cade, and they are bringing back the Tuber now, still keeping in 2 traps with Capcan and Elysian, and they're gonna have their roaming Boss G Vigil going around as well. But right now, just looking at the attacking operators, we are facing another Maverick, but still more frag type operators that I'm noticing.
Speaking of frags, First Blood's going to go over to the side of Prone. He's going to kick things off, taking out Jake rather early. That's a lot of map control that RSU definitely didn't want to give up right there. As you were saying over our operator analysis, the Tuber out, I do like, to make the Mavericks' life that much harder. The Kaid, probably for the gun, I'm not going to lie. The versatility of Kaid is definitely amplified, but as I say that, they're actually bringing the AUG instead of the TCSG, so maybe just trying something different? Not too sure. Oss is over here almost finding a quick incursion, though.
I mean, can't really sleep too much on the AUG because it's overall still a very decent. As it may not have an ACOG, it's still just as powerful. But right now we're gonna see a possible pick right onto this Capcan. Him trying to fight Buck and Jackal at the same time. Capcan gonna be getting the Buck, but he's gonna get flanked by this Jackal. Jackal will now have control of these bending stairs, but he's gonna be taking Legion Mine in the process. Now that he's gonna be assuming control down these stairs, because the only person that can possibly contest them is this Tuberau, which is a hole in the wall. But right now, Tuberau is going to be forced back a little bit. And then we're also going to be seeing Maverick just getting these little tiny peak holes getting a pick out onto somebody. Now the last two defenders that we have is a Tubrau and a Cade is gonna get lit up, but he gets the headshot. What a beautiful shot from somebody that was trying to beat the hatch. Now we're down to a 3v2. The defense, they need to get a little bit more aggressive here with seconds on the clock. And some of their lines of sight are being cut off. Tubrau is trying to fight 3 people at the same time, but trying to shoot these Maverick holes is going to be different. But it's only the Maverick finding the Tubrau, and now he's down to a 3v1. The lone survivor of Cade. Half health, getting completely smoked out in an entire room. Dokkaebi is going to be trying to swing it around. Cade might find the Dokkaebi, but he's not. Dokkaebi going to be flanking around, and he's going to SMG-12 him into the dirt.
Prone able to
very good recoil control.
Take it off. Yeah, that was a very nice shot. But that would do it for our first half. Now we're gonna have a quick side swap. Cumberland heading over to defense. RSU kicking off their attack now. Cumberland was also able to take the half for themselves with a 4-2 scoreline. So that'll make RSU work that much harder, with Cumberland heading up to their first site, which I believe should be the second floor here. Looking at the scoreboard, Prone has gone absolutely wonderful, 9-4, along with Tangley following somewhat close behind him, 5-4 for himself. On the other side of things for RSU, Oss has also done really well. Jake also bringing along the firepower, 7-6 for them respectively. I'm just going to see how it translates onto attack now.
Now just overall looking at how defensive that Cumberland is going to be, they are setting up a lot more cameras compared to RSU. They have 3 bulletproof cameras, a few impacts, and a nitro, so they're seeming to be a lot more intel oriented, since most of their operators are a lot more defensive, except for Malusi. Malusi is going to be one of the main keys that they need as far as her gadget for intel, but also just for the sheer utility of just being able to slow people down. Then we got a Warden for fragging capabilities, the Azami possibly for the warehouse, and then Jaeger and Legion just to back them up and just finish the little icing on the cake. But now we're going to be seeing a roaming Malusi. But now, just overall looking around, Warden gonna be jumping out and getting a frag on the Thatcher, which is an extremely important frag. And then now Thermite possibly gonna be taking this wall completely uncontested. He's just gonna get a free line of sight out into one of the more important areas, and he's gonna be noticing immediately that there is an Azami gonna be playing in warehouse. So now all he has to do is just sit around and wait for Azami to peek.
They might have gotten open IT up, but there's still a lot of work to be done, especially with the keeper barriers from Spoo. Really denying any type of entry into IT, making it that much harder. Do have the pressure coming in from Rafters' window, and the logic bomb being deployed by the side of Oss. It's going to be a little bit of a headache, but other than that, it's more of just a deterrent, as I believe someone swang in. Prone wanted to swing in himself, but Jake able to take out Spoo to clear up Rafters. That's garage control and potentially control of IT. Now that they have garage to themselves, just gonna want to look for reinforcements here. Jake might be able to sneak a kill here after the reinforcement, but no. It does take a quick engagement, but Prone realizes Jake's position and Talon refrags them immediately after. 3-on-3 now. 70 seconds to go. Still holding it out, and Rifa able to win the gunfight up against us. Talon also incurring a little bit of damage from Rifa as well. He's looking to find more. He actually gets the kill himself. Immediately traded off by Corb, though. A little 50 seconds to go. 2 versus 1 now, as Talon is currently beating out on the floor, and he's finished off by Tangley. It's all on Corb to try and figure it out here. No diffuser, not a lot of information. Don't believe they have the drones to work with here. I don't believe he is aware of the suspecting Nerks inside of garage. They are getting yellow ping now, so it might be somewhere where it's going to flash and take the engagement over with Tangley. Hasn't spotted much, is not able to vault over the keeper, but despite that, he actually get the pick. Corp with 2 on the round is able to survive barely any health left, and Tangley's flash, he's going to go all the way around. I don't think he has time for that, though. 10 seconds left. He's going to go through electrical. Tangley's unaware of his position. He swings out. It's not enough. Tangley able to take out Corb using the P12. And Cumberland able to take their defensive round and continue the lead that they've grown on the attack.
Overall, that was a very solid attacking round, but it is going to be taken by the defense. I thought originally that they had a great power play. They're taking IT and warehouse. Just overall, they literally just had like borderline half the site. While they don't have the physical location of the two bombs where they can plant, they do have half of the area that you really want major control over, and they just took that really quickly. They may have lost the manpower, but overall I still thought that was a very solid defensive round, even though that they lost it. But now, just looking to where we are going next, we are going to be going all the way down into the basement for round number 8. So far, this is not looking as trap focused as RSU, but they are going to be bringing a lot more intel for this one, bringing in an Ella, a Pulse, and a Valkyrie. And same thing with a Legion. Even though Legion is a trap operator, I would still consider him part intel, because just those little Legion goo mines, you're mainly playing off of them for the sound. Like, yeah, they do a little bit of damage, but you want the sound, you want the slowdown. That's usually, like, at least how I personally would play Legion. And then also just bringing in the Bandit just in case, so you can secure the outside. But now just also looking at RSU with how they're bringing in their operators, they're a little bit more focused on this exterior wall, with Ace and Maverick both outside, ready to take it out. Randy trying to go upstairs with a Gridlock and a Buck.
Metrocell unable to connect with its intended target. Now Talon's going to start the breach off thanks to the clearing of Fry, utilizing the Maverick holes. He's going to be able to get the breach open somewhat. As you were saying earlier, I do like the extra intel that's being provided from Prone, utilizing that heartbeat sensor. The verticality also might be a possibility. Calling it out for Rifa as he's gotten to an engagement over by the garage side. He's incurred a bit of damage, but he's traded off some to Jake as well, and he's going to be able to win the engagement. He's going to be weary that the assistance from Corb is coming out, and he will win the gunfight. He'll clean up 2 attackers all by himself, and Rifa goes big for a double kill. A lot of utility off the board. Your flank watch and your verticality has been removed. Fry, though, is still going to try and clinch it back with a quick pick onto Nurks. Still dealing on the main breach here. Talon has actually made their way in, and so has Fry. It's actually breached in towards the enemy side. Ouse definitely needs to reposition and assist his team here. It's going to take quite a minute. As I say that, though, the diffuser is going down. However, Ouse is not there. Ouse is just not able to provide any assistance, so Cumberland is actually going to walk away with this defuse. He can't get there in time. He still has to vault to the breach, and it doesn't even matter. Cumberland is going to sneak the defuse after a very fragile coverage that just ultimately didn't work. And what could have been an RSU round has now translated into a Cumberland match point.
Overall, Cumberland has been playing this map very, very solidly, because RSU, even on their defense, they got smacked around on one very specific site, and now Cumberland just winning the top site, winning the bottom site, and now they're going to be heading over to the control room and storage. And now I'm very interested to see how these guys are going to be playing this first floor area. Again, I'm still surprised that nobody has gone over to the kitchen side, but I want to see how they're going to be playing this now. Now, just bringing in, as far as operators, they are bringing in both of the SAS. They are a little focused on wall denial with the Bandit and the Mute, but also just bringing in an Aruni with a smoke. It seems like they're trying to build a site where they just want to focus on slowing people down right now. But as we can see, smoke is going to be upstairs, he is going to try and play
10 seconds left
the
before
vert,
insertion.
especially with the smokes. If he can play this right, he can borderline
5
deny
seconds remaining.
the entire top floor push.
Attackers
But
objective is to
also
defuse
just
the
looking
bomb.
at the offensive operators, we're bringing in a Brava, which is not a very common operator to see, but hey, her with our new elite skin, that thing's pretty nice. And I bought it recently, and I love it. But also, just bringing in a Gridlock, a Thatcher, and a Finka as well. This is overall a very balanced.
Balanced attack, definitely. However, I am somewhat curious of this Finka pick, especially with Tangley being spotted out. That could potentially work against him, as some might not know, because of the nanobots that get deployed from Finka. As I say that, Jake is actually going to remove Nixer from the equation. That's denying the Legion. Why is it spelled like that? Anyway, coming in. The breach is actually started off by Talon now. Bravo is spotted. Prones tries to go big. Isn't going to receive much. And Aus gets a very nice double kill. Clearing out the top floor. Spoo is trying to answer back. He will find Aus. He's in a bit of a sticky situation, especially with the players that are currently coming in through electrical off of the hacked Aruna gates.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Still trying to flush out. They have verticality now, and they have plenty of time to work with. RSU are set up in a pretty good spot. Tangley will start to deploy the smokes through the floorboards. Pushes them off ever so slightly. You need to be aware of these remaining operators here. Spoo might come into contact. I believe he might have seen a foot. He's going to hold his angles. Tangley expecting the impending breach on the side. Still a lot of verticality being deployed. Not a lot of time. Jake is slowly making their way over. Might even find an operator. He's going to see Tangley. Jake is going to be able to remove him off the board. And it's all up to Spoo now, who's going to be taking an engagement through the floorboards and Horb flushing it out. Able to keep RSU alive as we start with the 6-3 scoreline. Very important attack for right there from RSU. It ended up working well. You know, the initial aggression from Cumberland in the very early round was just denied by Norway, or excuse me, who was it? By Oss, excuse me. Oss was playing that Brava ever so carefully, turning off the Syria gates and switching their allegiance over for his team.
Need to locate and defuse as many bombs
and just able to get that verticality ever so quickly. It was just a really nice job. Now we are going to head up back to the second floor. We're going to see some returning operators here. Spoo is going to return to the Azami. You're also seeing Norway bringing that Malusi back. Prone on the Warden. Rifa has been doing absolutely wonderful using this Legion.
5 seconds.
Tangley bringing the Wamai. The impending grenades that might be faced.
Bomb and defuse it.
Not a lot of them, but definitely a couple flashes that can be deterred. Gonna kick things off, and Prone is definitely getting anxious. He wants these operator picks immediately. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. Just gotta be very careful. I believe he was spotted out there by a potential drone on the side of Oss. Verticality now being made by Jake through the floor to deny any sort of breach. And did I just see an unreinforced IT? That is what I'm seeing. well, you know, our teams have a way of doing things, and technically they're able to deny the breach just by shooting the exothermic charge. Aside from that, the breaches might be possible. It does keep spraying through the floor, or wall, rather. Jake is removed by Tangley after what was a close call before the wall was open. Now spraying through his Fry, and Talon hitting Goomine after Goomine, it seems. Needs to be very careful of a potential counter. Entering 90 seconds territory. They have made one pick so far to deny this attack. While it was a very important pick,
Attackers
we
have
do have
located a
outs
bomb.
challenging the Raptors' position. Just like that, Norway is going to take out Talon. Not before Fry will take out Spoo. And now an extra engagement coming in from Oss and Fry will get his second kill in the round. Now it's all over on the Raptors' garage positioning. Do see Norway coming up for a potential flank here. I don't believe an air jab was deployed. Might use the exothermic to... Oh, good. Good gun discipline. Very nice. Is going to be able to take out Oss.
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
The
diffuser.
discipline from Norway is important as Refry takes out Fry. And just like that, it was looking positive for RSU, but now it's all to a 1 versus 3 and Prone. Finishing off Corb. Finishing off map number 1. And giving them Night Haven Labs in a 7-3 scoreline. What a map 1 from Cumberland, and Prone, our MVP of the match, going huge, 12 and 6 kill death with a little bit of assistance from his team, 9s across the board. And what a map number 1 we just saw. After that, I do believe our teams are going to take a slight break, as are we, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. told you it was going to be a short break. We're back with map 2, heading to border now. Cumberland gonna start off our attack, and now RSU is gonna start off on our actually, that's how it was on our map number 1. Never mind. Nothing has changed so far. We're gonna start off our map bans. Overcast is back. We had a little bit of a technical issue, but we're all good to go now.
Yes, now that I'm finally back, that whole time I thought I was casting by myself, but apparently Xbox just went poo-poo for me, and then, yeah. But anyways,
Yeah.
I am now back, and already just looking at these operator bans, it looks like we're going to be banning Deimos once again, and that's also a very good pick, especially for Border, and Blackbeard as well, going to be getting removed relatively quickly. Also, I do think that the Blackbeard rework was very dumb. Put it in the comments, put it in the chat if you think the Blackboard rework was very dumb. But anyways, we're going to be looking at our next defensive ban, and I'm very interested to see who they're going to pick for this one. And what a surprise! It's Mara again. Again.
I do agree with you on the Blackbeard. It's just he's been so oppressive for this season. It's not a lot of counters. Technically, there are counters, but it's just when you have the teamwork that you're able to work with at this level of play, Blackbeard is just a huge hindrance to any defensive team. So to get them off the board, we're going to see a potential target ban as Valkyrie's removed. The Valkyrie border is also very influential in terms of spots that you could hide those black eyes. And we're gonna head
Just
to
going back to what you were saying with Blackbeard, also with his gun now being like a full damage gun, it can do a lot of damage to the walls too. So it's like he has
Attackers need to
amazing
locate
utility
and
now.
defuse as many bombs as they can.
Now we're gonna do armory and archives. Kicking things off first, Jake. Back on the Azami has been doing pretty well on it. Talon returning toward the bandit. Fry loves utilizing that Legion. Corb taking the dock, and Os bringing out the frost mats. Norway going back to the breaching position on the ace. We are seeing a 6-pick Zafia. Spoo is going to remain on the line. Tangli bringing the Capital, and Reedy bringing out our finger boost.
Attacker's objective is to defuse the bomb.
All ready to see how everything intermingles with each other.
Already just looking at how RSU is setting this up for us, trying to create a semi-pixel peek out for right now. But then we also have Doc looking out into the Oblivion, trying to see if he can get a pick alongside with this Legion. Azami is just going to be playing around, seeing if she can also get a spawn peek, and then Bandit is just being Bandit as well. I also gotta respect that these Bandit players, they love to use the iron sights. I personally never really liked them, but
I love bandit ring sights.
really,
The ARX also has the same sights. Oh my goodness! As we're blabbering away, Braun has started to get 2 kills, almost gets a 3rd. He's traded off a lot of damage on himself, though. Jake is looking to put an end to his window play right now. The Peekaboo is able to heal back just a bit of health here. Just be careful because we could scar off our breach. There's now Norway and Tangli doing the good old EMP impact combo. The adaptability.
already we're seeing a very heavy push from one specific side of the building with a Capital and a Finca, both trying to push the long hallway and into offices as well, with 2 people actively droning out to see if they can get into one of the main sites right now. But it looks like we're going to be having a move around, and this Frost is going to be the only person that's going to try and hold back this defensive push. Will get a pick out onto one person with this Lion with the 473 trying to get the pick, and he will find the Frost, and now we're down to the sole defender of Azami running around with 1 health. getting pinged, and he is going to get shot by this ace who is on the floor for some reason. But what a great offensive round by Cumberland.
Making the holes work against them. Great attack to kick it off. Cumberland will be put on the board once again, and we're going to return to Armory Archives. Tighten up the defense just a bit. Might even see, just got to lock in sometimes. And if first you don't succeed, try again.
Indeed, and now we're just going to be moving back to, I think we're going back to Armor?
Yes.
Yep, we're going to be going back to Armory Lockers. Now, bring a little bit of a different assortment. Bringing in a Legion this time, but overall, most of the same operators with the Bandit and the Zombie, a Doc, and a Frost. Will the Frost be able to move her mats around? And also, are they going to be changing much of the site, or are they going to realistically try to keep most of the same? As far as for the attack, overall, the operators just, for this, they look relatively the same. So,
yeah, it's looking like a copy and paste matchup, really.
5 seconds remaining.
Now we're starting, you are seeing the Zofia return. Not much has changed here.
Objective is to defuse a bomb.
Defenders, I don't believe, is swapped like you were saying. So it's really just going to be how has RSU adapted over the last round to try and equal it out.
Already, we're going to be hopping on to early cams, and then with Cumberland, they're going to be pushing relatively the same sector with 4 people trying to come up these stairs and just control these hallways. But right now, there's no defenders lingering around in this area, and especially with this Frost for where she's playing. Mainly, it's possibly going to be a free take for the wall for Cumberland, but at the same time, there's not a lot of people trying to swing around towards the main breach for the armory wall, and we are going to be seeing our first frag onto Frost. What a great shot, and they cleared out the deployable out of this area. Graham trying to hold the end of the long hallway, but now Bandit is going to be trapped alone in the offices with 3 to 4 people potentially trying to push him. But with the backup of a zombie, as long as he doesn't fall down this hatch, he will be able to get a decent clear here. And the zombie herself is going to get cleared. And the Bandit, and now they have full control of offices.
So the bundling down as that double kill from Norway definitely is cementing what could be another Cumberland round as Fry is stuck over in the CC area. He's pinged by the E1D. He still has to work against the operators. He's trying to get knifed. Uses the knife in return. Taking out Drone. He still has a lot of gunfire heading his way. And Norway planting the diffuser. Working against 4 operators, all the intel in the world, and a ticking diffuser clock. It's much to work with. He's gonna get spotted by the bees. He's gonna get spotted outdoors. He's still able to safely return, but never mind. Spoo ending it all the way from the 90 window. With a 1x. With a 1x.
I was about to say, with the hollow as well, man, just trying to Shaiko that. Just holding that from that distance, but hey. I don't gig people for using the hollow. I personally love using it on any gun that doesn't take an ACOG. I love using that.
Really a fan favorite. Sometimes I like to use the reflex on certain guns. Just because I think it fits the gun better. In any case, though, 2 rounds have gone by. 2 successful attacks from Cumberland.
Attackers need to locate
RSU definitely needs to switch it up, and they finally will, going to Teller's bathroom this time around. Hoping to see some new plays come out from them. That Fenrir now being brought to the table is going to potentially have a sway and how this defense will go out. Fry has actually swapped it up with Jake. Jake will take the Legion this time since Fry is now playing that Fenrir. Those poison clouds definitely screws with the mind
Attackers are moving out
just
to
a
locate bomb
bit
and defuse it.
and could be the key to an RSU victory here. Combining it with the Banshees of us, this might be a successful defense as long as they hold their angles properly. So I say that though, drone work being done
Bomb located by
on
attackers.
the first floor. A couple of rounds being fired already towards the customs area. Refub returning.
Alrighty. Sorry, I was back. I was just fixing my mic again. I don't know what's going on with my mic today. But looking like the Brava and this just looking at the Brava, it's just gonna try and clear all this upstairs alongside the Buck and the Capital. And right now they have mostly control of the upstairs, but we do have this one Legion who is gonna be lingering around trying to get some picks. He will not be able to find anything, but he is just gonna narrowly escape death from this Capital. Ram trying to wait. There is no Ram. My fault. There's a little buggy just of the Brava drone already. One of them is being taken out. But right now the defense is very spread out, especially for this bottom site. But also this is a very good way to play as long as you have a very coordinated team. It's just playing spread out, because then you have to be constantly aware of everywhere that you go. And then now this Buck gonna be trying to move his way into server, but he might get picked from this Legion on the catwalk, and he will.
Is going to start off our initial picks as 60 seconds left. After was a lot of map control and drone work. We're now seeing what could be the executes from Cumberland. And as I say that, Jake is able to take out Tangley. Is trying to get that top four clear, alleviated. Runs out of ammo. Isn't able to make it up. Prone, though, going to bail out his teammate of Norway right there. 30 seconds to go.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
RSU has definitely wasted plenty of time. And these orb magnets being able to deny Norway's information gain has been very important.
15 seconds
Also
remaining.
needs to be careful as the allegiance of those bees have now changed on
10
him.
seconds to go.
Now going down with 10 seconds left in the round. Cumberland needs to focus on this defuse, but it looks like they're going to be able to get this off. And with the Brava finding the pick onto Cade, trying to find another play, but getting the rest of everybody and securing the round for Cumberland. Now being a double kill from the 417. I'm seeing a lot of DMR usage coming out of Cumberland. But now just
Love the DMRs.
with them coming in with a 3-0. Now moving in, so far they've taken a fair amount of ground away from RSU. So what do you think is the biggest thing that RSU right now needs to focus on if they want to refrag this series?
It's definitely got to be coordination, because you did see those initial picks coming out from, I believe, Fry or Jake. I can't remember exactly, but the Legion of last round definitely went important with
Defenders,
two very
protect your
nice
bombs from being
kills.
defused by
And
attackers.
despite that, RSU still let Cumberland plant. Norway dropping down just didn't receive an answer. I know the Grim Bees were
Attackers
there,
have located the bomb.
but realistically, the bathroom door could have been swung to try and spray through. So definitely coordination is an important part of RSU's success. And Cumberland has just been taking advantage of that fact.
100% now is just Cumberland. They have very decent pushes, and overall they're doing really good in their gunfighting
10
skill
seconds left before
as far as being on attack. Even when it came to
5
defense
seconds left.
from Nighthaven Labs, they were relatively even, but now
attackers'
just
objective is to defuse a bomb.
coming in with being downstairs once again. we're going to see how this is going to change the round for RSU. Will they be able to get their first round win, or is it going to be possibly a dominant Cumberland victory?
Time will tell with the boogie drones heading out towards up top, and already Prone has gotten involved, and Prone is downstairs? Prone has already made their way into the bathroom, and Spoo is also taking out Jake. And a lot of RSU players are falling as Corb is trying to answer back. Will take out Prone. The boogie drone able to mask the sound of his entry, which worked extremely effectively. Was able to take out one operator and another operator being traded out in turn. Lots of goo mines being stepped on by the way of Norway and Tangling, excuse me.
And Jake is asking for something after this round. What?
Quick rehost.
Oh, rehost. What's the... Oh yeah, right now all of them are holding around 100 ping.
I will watch over us.
Either way, we're going to see what the possible outcome of this round might be. Hatches still need to be worked out with. Gone 6 being deployed by Tangling and Ree. Still utilizing this verticality to take out Fry. Corb sees someone but isn't able to pull the trigger just yet. Plenty of time for Cumberland to execute exactly the way they want. Still breaching now as bullets will flying from us, but Reef getting a double kill on the round, taking out Austin. Suddenly it's just Corb with plenty of time working against him. And 4 operators also in the turn. More Grimbees being deployed. Fenrir's being destroyed. And the execute from Cumberland is going to be dangerous. A Spoo utilizing those floor holes. This makes a swift end to Corb. And a swift victory lead. Making it 4-0. However, our players are asking for a quick rehost, which we should see. You see all of our players leave the lobby and join back. While we get the technical issues aside, we're going to see how things shape up to be, and hopefully we won't be gone for too long, and we'll be back into the siege action as soon as we can. So don't go away anywhere, buddy.
And we're back. Sorry
But
for
everything
the
should be in order, hopefully.
sorry for the quick mediary, but we have finally fixed it. So back to it, where Cumberland is still the blue team and RSU is the orange team. But I was gonna say, wait, let me look at the pings. Okay, for Talon, the ping got even worse, but at least we fixed some things around to where most people are gonna be better. But now we hopefully can finish this match out. But just going back to what we were originally saying, with Cumberland having a 4-0 lead right now over RSU, they have had a very dominant offensive game so far. So hopefully that they can
By attackers.
either just lock it out, just take one or two more attacking rounds, and then just take their offense, and then just be happy.
Just be happy, be healthy, and continue to move on into semis. Seeing more Bs being brought out from Tangley.
10
A couple of
seconds to
6
insertion.
picks from Cumberland.
5 seconds
Hone
remaining.
swapping from Bandit over for a Ram. Spoo also taking the
Attacker's
Twitch
objective is to defuse a bomb.
and Norway on Cali? Yes, Cali. Yeah, the 6 pick
Yeah, for me,
onto
it
no
is a
one. That's nice.
We're gonna 6-pick back onto my original operator.
He's not going to do. Now Cumberland are going to make their way through the top rows, trying to get rid of the armory control that is currently being held by RSU, which is being toyed with quite a bit as bees fumbling in. A lot of explosions did go down. Oz trying to make the angle.
And
With that,
already we're gonna be
Rifa's
seeing our
picking it off.
first pick.
Attackers drop.
Right now, this Goyle and this Mute are locked away. They're just trapped by the metal detector. They're gonna be forced to make some sort of movement here,
he
but
doesn't know.
he doesn't know. The Grim doesn't
the
know
kill.
that the Mute is still there. But at least the Ace knows, and then now that they're gonna be getting their pick, it is
Oh my
now a
goodness.
4-1. The one and only lonely friend here, but it doesn't matter because Cumberland is coming in and now gonna be taking their 5th round, and man, just straight only hit fire. That's crazy.
Cumberland
But now,
very dominant for the first 5 attacks. They've only got one more for a flawless first half, and what could be even a flawless match to end their play day to move on.
alright, let's see how they're gonna be doing for this attack round. But right now, this is actually a very crucial attack round for Cumberland, because if they can take this, they just need 1 round on defense, and I have a feeling they can easily accomplish that. But if
Attackers need to locate and defuse the
RSU
bomb.
can take at least just this 1 attack round away, that just gives them that much more of breathing room when they get onto attack.
Absolutely agree with you. Because
Bomb
now
located by
we're
attackers.
heading back upstairs. Correct.
Correct, we are going to be going back upstairs to Armory Lockers, and while these guys are going to be setting up their site,
10
I'm
seconds to
currently
go.
on R6 Marketplace trying to find a very specific skin that I
Oh
want.
yeah. If you could, now is the time, especially with the quote-unquote
Attackers are heading out to
Siege
defuse
Great
the bomb.
Depression with the celebration packs. The market price of everything has gone down significantly. So, if there's something you guys are looking for that isn't Glacier, now is probably the time to go and get it. Little ad plug now is Jake almost spots Prone. Prone might go for the aggression here. He's tapped in the side a bit. Take a boost to heal back the initial damage. Prone might get involved here. As I say that, Corb gets involved in the turn. Spoo is eliminated rather quickly, and that's the flank watch of Gridlock. Removed very quickly. Corb is going to keep this streak going with a double kill for
Attackers have recovered their
Tangley.
diffuser.
Jake also
Attackers
drawing the
dropped
kill
the
feed,
diffuser.
taking out Norway. And finally, some answers from RSU. They've made it a 5-on-2 now. Prone moving in, wants the take on the Jake, but not a good nitro throw, but still rushes in anyway. Prone is downed by the nitro cell and taken out. It's a swing from Oz, terrible timing, and in surprising fashion, RSU are actually going to take a flawless round to end the half.
And this is finally something that RSU needed. They needed that round. Now they can start comeback season, but also now with Cumberland going onto the defense, they can just chill out and relax a little bit more. Now they can stop focusing so much of fighting against the timer. Now they can work with it a little bit and just find their strengths that they want to work with. And let's see how they turn out for this round.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
See what happens. As finally, sides have been swapped now, and the answers from RSU looking good. We are seeing a Solus along with that castle being brought from Tangley. Azami and Fenrir being brought along with Norway on the Aruni. Not Aruni, excuse me, Malusi. I believe that drone was spawned as I was trying to get on camera. On the attack side of things, Jake over on the Ash, Oz bringing the Twitch, Fry on Thatcher, Talon bringing the Ace, and Corb bringing over Gridlock.
Throwing mine.
But now just overall, just looking at how the attack are going to need to push this. Right now, I think with Cumberland, they're going to be a little bit more focused. Or sorry, with RSU, now they're going to be a little bit more focused on trying to take over. They're going to be doing relatively the same thing, where they're going to be trying to take this large wall over here, but they do see that there is one soft wall being left open. But this is also an interesting thing, is putting a castle over here to block off the sight line of the long hallway and just breaking open this wall. I do love that strat personally, but also we are going to see that this castle is going to be playing security. And overall, he has a very decent setup, but he is going to get picked by this Twitch with the 417. And ever since Router has come out, the 417 has been being used more and more often now, because I think people are just starting to realize how powerful the weapon is. But now we are down to a 4v4. Still, we have a Malusi trying to play out guarding the main breach, even though there is no reinforcements there. But now RSU is going to be trying to take more map control now, and now it's just Solus and Malusi. Solus underneath, and Malusi is going to be the lone defender trying to hold off against 4 people coming towards her. And Gridlock and the Stats are going to try and take the gunfight with the Malusi, trying to just clear her out real quick. But the Solus trying to find a pick, but want people to find it.
Oh, very big pick. All of a sudden,
Malusi being the last defender, trying to get one, but he's going to pull down the hatch, and that is going to give a free plant for Thatcher now.
Attackers are activating the bomb diffuser.
Prize definitely getting the diffuser down in Norway. A lot of work to do. Does spot at one, almost gets the second. Red immediately, and the side swap seems to be what RSU needed. Because now they finally have a breath of life in them. Another round goes their way. We'll see if this attack can continue to snowball towards a potential overtime.
We will see, but right now it's still in Cumberland's favor for a good while, because all they need right now is 2 rounds. So let's if Cumberland can actually come in and just steal one round on defense just so they can force them
Attackers
up
need to
against the
locate and
wall
defuse as many bombs as they can.
and possibly take the map. Or if RSU has finally had enough and they're just going to straight push and push until they win.
Operator lineup. Looking majoritarily similar for Cumberland here. We're seeing a Jaeger brought instead. Not really bringing any wall deny, which is interesting. So we could even see this Thatcher converted to something else.
5 seconds left.
But I don't believe that'll be the case. Because now our attackers are locked in.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
I'm gonna see where we go from here. Good 90 control from Throne here. Utilizing those Kiva barriers very efficiently.
Already something that I'm noticing from the defenders is that they have done somewhat of a site extension into security, especially with how this Azami is playing this out by removing these two walls, placing the Azami barrier into the corner, and then also just allowing for free flow. But right now with RSU, they're going to be focusing very heavily on just this one area control, and already we're going to be seeing a pick onto somebody into long hallway. A great clear for RSU to take, and now we have 3 defenders left trying to hold off against the Big 5, and they're going to be getting their first pick onto the ace. Asami still trying to play security, but we see a trade from Norway and Corp going to be killing each other, but now it's just going to be a 1v2 with another trade by Prone getting knocked out, but Prone at least getting somebody in the process. Now we have a Twitch and a very low health Thatcher. Thatcher is going to have to try and make a push here, but this Jaeger does have primary control of this area.
He's able to lock it down. He's also got the clock to work with. Just gonna wait out the rest of these attackers of Fry and Oss. Doesn't have to play too aggressively here. He spots him out. Fry definitely incurring more damage, but Langley definitely needs to be careful, and it can happen as Oz cleans him up. Solidifying the headshot. And RSU still staying alive. We're finally seeing a timeout come out, and it's actually going to be from Cumberland. Need to figure out what they're doing wrong here and how they're giving away these rounds after a sudden break in play.
Overall, in your opinion, what do you think Cumberland right now needs to focus on in order for them to get this quick refrag?
Well, honestly, Cumberland have been throwing away some lives towards the beginning here. You saw Rifa lose their life really quickly on the Solus right there too. What should have been nothing, the fact that Jake was able to walk in and significantly make progress on the defense just to take out 2 defenders from the board shouldn't have happened, especially after such little time had escaped from the game clock. Definitely, we need to see more of a potential passive playstyle from Cumberland. And they honestly just need to play for trades, and they need to play a lot slower.
100% I agree with them that they have to play a lot slower because Cumberland has been playing very fast-paced since they got 5 of their rounds all from offense, but they right now they just need to lock in and just get that one round. They just need that one single solid defense round, because then again it's going to push RSU back up against the wall, and then they're going to have to be playing borderline flawless rounds every single time, and that can also make just that heavy pressure can also make teams almost like double take or rethink their whole plans of like what they want to do. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this out.
Could be interesting. saying that now we're seeing a couple more traps. Tangley on the Legion, Spoonman bringing the Fenrir back. Good little spot there. Norway bringing out the Mute along with Prone on the Kaid. We're gonna still see the
10
Malusi
seconds
from
left before
Ree.
insertion.
Jake on the Ash. Oss bringing in the Buck. Fry bringing the
Attackers must locate and
Sledge
defuse a bomb.
in an interesting pick. Core bringing the Nomad and Talon on the Ace. What I'm confused about right now, though, is how are we gonna get these hatches out of the way?
100% just looking at how we're gonna get the hatches out. Right now, you still have the capability with Ace, but he's only gonna be able to get one due to the fact that he can only get one hatch with two of his things. So he is gonna have to prioritize where
Might not
and
even
how.
get any, especially since Prone is playing Kaid.
100%. So again, it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna play this out. But already we're gonna be looking at the defense here, and we do have a Malusi and a Legion playing upstairs together, trying to hold the vertical, while we have Cade at least just remaining downstairs doing his best, trying to hold down with the Mute. Again, they are very spread out, but this Fenrir staying out in the main lobby, but he is going to get picked off, and already the offense is starting to take out the Fenrir and the Mute, which is giving them a lot of map coverage, because now all they have to worry about is the two people upstairs and the one single Cade that's downstairs defending.
Yeah, this is definitely not what you want to see after your time out. You've had two operators fall in the exact same fashion that you usually have.
Bomb
Prone
located
does
by
spot
attackers.
one. Isn't able to connect right away. He might even reach out this.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
RSU still need to figure out how they're gonna execute onto the bomb site. Well, they have the picks.
Attackers recovered
Still need the
bomb
control, and
diffuser.
as I say that, it doesn't really matter since Oss is taking out Prone, making it a 2v5. It's gonna be very difficult. It's a very linear push here, as now the rest of RSU is making their way in, and Talon gets a double kill. Fuse are going down, that's all on Tangley in a very long angle, who will down Oss. Is able to take them out. Still has to figure out what they have. He will get another one, making it a 1-on-3. Still has plenty of work to be done. Not a lot of time to do it. Swinging out. Can't find much. Fry trying to put some suppressive shots down to deny anything. 15 seconds. It's not looking good for Tangley. Tries to swing around the
think
corner,
Legion knows
doesn't
he's
see
down.
much. And Jake finishing it off with this heavy snowball effect from RSU. They've pushed it all the way to round 10 on a 5-4 and have almost tied it up.
Already, now we're just looking at the score now. RSU is finally starting to gain some ground back. Now they're only one round behind, so Cumberland, they really need to focus in. They need to lock in the itty bitty spider. Even though
Attackers
he
need to
fell
locate
off
and defuse bombs.
the spout, he locked in and he climbed back up. And right now, Cumberland, they need to do this right now if they want to secure a round, because right now they've already lost all their insurance. They're only one round ahead, and especially for this game and this map, they can't afford that.
Not even a little bit. Cumberland has really been playing rather sloppily, if you ask me. These initial picks should not be happening at all. The fact that Spoo last round was removed with no real effort. A singular flashbang is what it took to get rid of Spoo. And
Attackers
so
are moving out to
Cumberland,
locate a bomb
as you
and
said, really needs to lock in, so you will. And try and put this match away within the next 2 rounds. At least that's what they're hoping for.
Yeah, or at least something to remind them is that they're 2 rounds away from winning this entire series and just closing it out right now. Because if they do lose these 2 rounds, then we are gonna have to go over to map 3, which I believe is Lair. And to be honest, nobody really wants to be playing on Lair. But hey, we're gonna see how this goes within the next 2 rounds. Who knows? They might actually come out. They do really well in this round, and then all they have to do is just focus for one more.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Or at least, as long as they can secure the 1 round, then we can at least guarantee that they can push themselves into OT, which I think is right now their main goal. Is just get 1 round.
Oh no.
But it doesn't matter when Fenrir is just gonna get picked off by Talon. But at least Rifa is gonna be getting the refrag back on to their Nomad.
Definitely been back and forth right now. Is now Fry and Rifa getting their kills. 3-on-3 does have the diffuser now. Gonna have to be some extra effort coming from RSU, as Jake is also incurring a lot more damage from Rifa through the CC flooring.
Right now, just looking, this is not very good for RSU because every single one of their members are all extremely low on health, so they're all one-shot, but it doesn't matter there because Ash is going to be able to get a pick onto the mute. But still, Rifa going to be playing upstairs. He's going to find a pick onto the ace. What a very good shotgun hold through the floor. Now he's got to look for one more. He's getting a very good ping by his teammate, but
Ooh.
But Prone is going to be the one stealing the kill away from Rifa, and now they just need to work together to get this one last kill onto Jake. But Jake coming in with only like a sliver of health. He needs to find his way in, but he has no idea where these 2 defenders are. They may be 3 armors, and they may make a lot of noise, but there's still 2 of them. They both got good guns.
30 seconds to go. Rifa's just trying to make verticality to find Jake. Trying to make the gunfight that much harder for them. Swinging on towards the bathroom position. He might catch him here. As he vaults through, he's going to do exactly that. And Rifa finally giving Cumberland a little bit of that momentum back in their favor. As they will be pushed on to match point. Just like you were saying, very important round for Cumberland to halt that momentum. All they need to do is put it away with a good armory archives defense, and Cumberland can walk away with a 2-0 scoreline.
Right now, just them going back to armor lockers and archives. While this is the most popular site for this map, it is the one site that most people do know how to push, and they have yet to win here so far. And it's just looking at the offensive lineup, they're bringing relatively the same operators from most of the rounds. So hey, if it works, don't change what you're doing. But again, just looking at the defense, they just need to locking for one more round. They just need one more round. They need to focus more on their gunfighting and just get these picks. Because if they can score these picks, they could just lock them out of the way.
5 seconds to go.
Anchor play might be the key to a victory here.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Now, gonna see what comes down to it. Because Norway now in the Bandit might give a little bit of a stoppage to RSU's initial attack. It's all just a waiting game now. There's some drone work coming from RSU, spotting out their players. The Twitch drone does swiftly meet its end, leaving Oust with one more in the pocket.
Defense is online.
Alrighty, we're going to start seeing RSU trying to make some sort of pushes in, or they're going to start just trying to secure some space, but right now with this defensive posture that that the defense has, damn, I don't know why I'm blanking on their name for some reason, but now we're also going to be looking at some possible under vertical play, but we're going to see if this Mew can get this nice C4 throw. This is risky though. But already so far we're at a minute 45 and so far no picks have been taken, but it's possibly going to turn around with this Jaeger trying to find something. He's going to try and repeat. How is that not a headshot? But it doesn't matter. But now Twitch already at half health alongside the Ash. Again, this defensive posture is working a lot better for the defense, and already we're going to be seeing our first kill, 2 kills coming in, and now it's going to be 44.
Ooh, big swing right there. Immediately answered back though. Lots of kills getting traded back and forth. Prone taking out Corb to make it a 3-on-2. A little over 60 to go. And it's looking like RSU have very limited options now. Still have this time working against them. And the angles that are being held by Cumberland are not easy ones to fight.
Bomb located by attackers.
When going through the 90 hallway might incur a gunfight through metal, and Tangley's actually shot all the way back through offices. Extremely long angle from Jake. Doesn't get much, but it does tag up for a little bit of damage, and now you're going to swing over towards Archives to see if he can spot anything else. Talon's still trying to hold 90, and holds need to become pushes as we enter 22nd territory. RSU need to go, and they need to go immediately. With the little bit of assistance they have, and Tangley forcing it to a 3v1, 2v1, and Prone putting it away, taking out the remaining member of RSU. And Cumberland will take map number 2, 7-4, closing out our play day and moving on to our semifinals with Prone as the man of the match.
Overall, that was a very amazing game just coming in by Cumberland. They had a very dominant attack, but they realized that once they started giving away some leeway on the defense, they finally regrouped and they did what they had to do to get the win.
Very impressive stuff from Cumberland to finally answer back. RSU gave it the fight that they could. Unfortunately, that is the end of their road for our playoffs. They unfortunately will have to wait it out until next season, but they put on quite the show for us tonight. As I said, Cumberland will be moving on to our semifinals that will, I believe, either head out next week, or I believe we do have one more round of quarters. Information will be shared at a later time, but as I said, 2-0 scoreline, very dominant from Cumberland. Got a little spicy over there at the end, but they were able to make it happen. Anything you want to add, Overcast, before we finish it out for tonight?
No, I think that was actually a very great match to cast, but congrats to Cumberland once again for coming back and just securing the W for that.
You heard it here, folks. That's going to do it for us tonight. Tomorrow, we will continue up our Valorant action. You'll be seeing me again tomorrow, so looking forward to it. As always, we give a big shout out to our observer, which tonight that was Damien. Lots of love and respect to him to helping us out. And that'll do it for our Monday night. Thank you so much. Valorant tomorrow. We'll see you then. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.